Yes, sir. Thanks for coming.
There's in the works right now a big
And also, let
demonstration.
me just say, since we are at the end of the hour, I mean, if you need to go, you got social plans, you have much more exciting things to do. Don't worry about it. But I will stay longer for the folks who just arrived. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. Well, some of us thought it was at 2:00.
I know. I'm sorry about that, sir.
Yeah. At any rate, there's in the works right now a big demonstration in Gaza, and wonder where you stand on the Israeli-Palestinian issue and so on. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I stand with American policy for the last 20 years, which is I believe in a two-state solution. I believe in the rule of law. I believe that Israel is an ally, but that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that Israel does. I was so outspoken about the need for the Iran nuclear deal that President Obama had my statement on the home page, the front page of whitehouse.gov for like 3 weeks a couple summers ago. And I went to Israel and I talked to Netanyahu about this. In fact, I asked him, if you don't think this is a perfect deal, Mr. Prime Minister, how do you get a better deal? And he didn't have an answer. So the point is that we can both recognize that Israel is our most important democratic ally in the Middle East and be proud of that, while also being perfectly willing to disagree with them when they flaunt international law, when they're not doing what we think is in our interests, or when they're not handling the Palestinian refugee crisis or conflict or anything else appropriately. And I think that should be the position that we take as Americans. I mean, Winston Churchill said that the only thing worse than fighting a war with allies is fighting a war without them. That means you don't always agree with your allies. But that, what went on in Congress a few weeks ago with the anti-Semitic comments, that's not appropriate. We should be better than that. And it's okay for Democrats to stand up and say, you can disagree with Israel without using anti-Semitism in what you say. The conflict with the Palestinians drives so much of the turmoil in the Middle East. I mean, it was amazing going to a place like Iraq and hearing how much that influenced what Iraqis were thinking. So we should be doing everything we can to resolve that peacefully. That means standing up for a two-state solution. That means standing up to Netanyahu, who very clearly does not believe in a two-state solution, despite what he might say. That means recognizing the rule of law. I do not agree with what the president did to recognize the Golan Heights as Israeli territory. I do not think it was a wise move for him to, in a very provocative way, move the capital. I don't think that helped resolve the crisis. But I am proud to say that Israel is an ally, and I know how important it is to have allies, especially in a place like the Middle East.
So do you support BDS?
No, I don't. I don't think that. I don't think that that's appropriate. I don't think we should be pursuing that as a country. But there was an anti-BDS bill that came before Congress, and a lot of Democrats very quickly signed on to it. And it violated the Constitution. It violated free speech. In fact, that was made very clear. And so I didn't sign on. I got a lot of heat for it at first, and then a whole bunch of Democrats started taking their names off of it.